All right, let's get right into it. If you're running an ag business here in Idaho, you know technology isn't just a nice to have, it's your absolute lifeline. I mean, think about it. Planting, processing, harvest season. You have literally zero room for downtime. So what happens when that lifeline gets cut? Well, the consequences are fast, they're serious, and it tells you everything you need to know about who's really in your corner. So let's talk about WestLink Ag, a local Idaho ag company. For them, this whole crisis started with something that sounds almost simple. One day, printing just stopped working. Dead. No invoices, no reports, nothing was coming out.
And not one single problem, it started a massive snowball effect. I mean, if you can't print, you can't send invoices. If you can't do that, you can't process payroll. Suddenly, the entire financial nervous system of the company was just grinding to a halt.
And here's where things got really critical. WestLink did exactly what you do, right? They called support for their most important software, QuickBooks. But Intuit, the company that makes it, they just couldn't get them a fix fast enough. And you know how it is. The clock's ticking, the problem's getting bigger by the minute, and the people who are supposed to have the answer, well, they just didn't. So this first part is what we're calling a crisis in plain sight. And really, this story hits on a fear that I think every ag executive has. What do you do when your most critical software fails, and the people who sold it to you can't fix it?
Okay, now for part 2, ownership in action. Because with their vendor basically stuck, WestLink turned to their IT partner, TotalCare IT. And this is where the whole story changes. Because their partner didn't point fingers or make excuses, they just took ownership of the problem.
So what does taking ownership actually look like? Well, first, a team, Seth, Ray, and Zach, they jumped on it immediately. We're not talking about support tickets or waiting in a queue. They were on it. Second, they went deep. I mean, they worked late into the night just hunting down the root cause. And third, they found it. It was this really complex server compatibility issue that was blocking QuickBooks from working right. So finally, they manually put a workaround in place to get WestLink systems back online. Payroll and invoicing back on track.
You know, after the dust settled, WestLink's CFO, MacArthur Miner, said something that really gets to the heart of all this. He said, "This kind of dedication and follow-through is exactly why we trust TotalCare IT." And that's it right there. That dedication, that follow-through, that is the huge difference between a vendor who just sells you a service and a partner who's actually invested in your success. This whole incident, it became the ultimate proof of why WestLink trusts them with their entire infrastructure.
Now this brings us to section 3, the Ag First philosophy. And it's so important to understand that what happened at WestLink wasn't just a fluke. It wasn't a one-off. It was the direct result of a very deliberate philosophy, one designed specifically for the high-stakes world of agriculture.
And you can see the contrast so clearly here. On one side, you've got your standard kind of cookie-cutter IT support, reactive and slow. But on the other side, you have an approach that's built just for ag. It's proactive, it's local, and it's built on a deep understanding that season-critical uptime isn't just some buzzword. It's literally everything. This is all about having that deep industry knowledge and being a truly integrated partner.
So let's break that down a bit. What does Built for Idaho Ag actually mean? Well, for one, it means they design everything around that season-critical uptime, making sure you are running at full speed when it matters most, like during harvest. It also means rugged protection for your OT, your operational tech. We're talking about your SCADA systems, your PLCs, the industrial computers that run everything from irrigation to your grain elevators. It means they're experts in rural connectivity, which is huge. They even provide support for the legacy equipment you still rely on. And maybe most importantly, it means they have local teams right here in Boise and Idaho Falls. And the WestLink story isn't a one-off. Take Thresher Wheat, for example. They're a big grain processing operation with multiple sites. Their IT director, Tim Leffman, pointed out how TotalCare was so committed to finding solutions that worked across all of their rural locations, something other IT firms they tried just couldn't do. It just shows you this is a consistent pattern. It's how they operate.
Okay, section 4. Meet your IT partners. Because a real partnership isn't about calling some faceless 1-800 number. It's about having a dedicated team of people who actually know you and your business. And this is really a fundamental shift in mindset. You're not just hiring a help desk or outsourcing a task. You're actually gaining a team that becomes part of your own operation.
For instance, you get someone like Aaron, who acts as your virtual CIO. Now, his job isn't just fixing things when they break. He's there to look at the big picture, to align your technology roadmap with your business goals. He helps you make smart investments in tech that are actually going to boost your efficiency and protect you for the long haul.
And then on the front lines, you've got Ben. He's the service desk coordinator. So when one of your plant operators or somebody on the maintenance crew has an issue, Ben's job is to make sure they get to the right engineer right away. He gets it. He knows that for your people on the ground, every single minute of downtime is a big deal.
And they back all this up with a hard number, 19 minutes. That's their promise. It's the absolute maximum time you can expect to wait before an engineer starts working on your problem. Just think back to that WestLink story, waiting and waiting on hold. This is the complete opposite of that.
All right, final section, from vendor to partner. Because really the big takeaway here is about making a strategic shift. It's about moving away from a simple vendor relationship to a real partnership that actually proactively makes your business stronger and more resilient.
So you might be asking, who is this kind of model really for? Well, it's for companies with, say, 20 or more employees who really lean on their technology every single day. It's for businesses that see cybersecurity as a critical investment, not just another expense. And it's definitely for executives who want more than just a help desk. They want real IT leadership and a strategy that moves their business forward.
And ultimately, this whole story brings us to one big question that you really need to ask yourself. When a next crisis hits, and you know it will, when payroll is on the line and your critical systems are down, is your current IT provider just another vendor, or are they a true partner who's going to take ownership and see you through to the other side?
Look, if you're wondering if this kind of partnership could be right for your operation, the next step is super simple. It just starts with a discovery call, a quick 10 or 15-minute chat to talk about your current situation. That's it. From there, you'll get a clear, straight answer on whether it's a good fit. There's no pressure at all. It's just a direct path to finding out if you can turn your IT from just another expense into a real strategic advantage.